Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am Trevin, joined by Caleb.
Hola.
And Zach, as always, is behind the camera.
Hello.
We are here to discuss this week's NXT, which is a hell of a lot better than last week's episode.
Yep.
We didn't cover last week's episode.
Because it was dog water.
Yeah, it was probably the worst bit of NXT I've sat through.
For all those anime enjoyers out there, think of the worst filler arc you've gone through. And then make it worse.
Plenty of things happened that shouldn't have, like Stephanie lost to Shotzi. What the fuck was the point of the number one contendership match? The Fatal 4-Way? Yeah, but moving on from last week's horrible episode, we move on to this. It's pretty good. They branded it as Triple Title Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because 3 belts were getting defended, and they lied. It was 2 belts and a fucking trophy.
Yeah.
You scum.
Scumbags. Still a title.
Trophy.
Triple Title Tuesday.
I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, we opened the show with the announcement that Corey Graves is back on the table.
Yeah. He says, "This is right where I want to be." Nick Khan held him over a balcony. Yeah, but Corey Graves is back after some tweets saying how he was unhappy. But hey, it happens. We go on to our opening match,
which is for the
NXT North American Men's Championship.
Yep. Tony D'Angelo versus Ridge Holland.
A pretty quick match.
Yeah.
Like, legit, I think by the time this match ended, it was like 7-12.
Yeah, no,
it was quick. Izzy Dame comes in for the save for Tony D'Angelo.
Yep, because the Sean Spears crew came out to provide some distraction, but Izzy, not wanting Sean to have his way, got her leg up super high and kicked Ridge Holland in the face.
Yeah, it was very surprising. Like they said on commentary, Izzy Dame is probably the last person you suspect to see out there. But we'll see a bit more interactions between Izzy and Tony as the night continues.
Yep, as well as the family with the Spears crew.
But as of right now, Tony's still your champion.
Yep.
A pretty good match. Surprisingly good with Ridge and him just going at it.
Yeah, no. So, to be fair, those 2 stars can work.
Yeah, there's been some discussion online as to Tony D'Angelo's reign. And how do you feel about it? Do you think it's lackluster or do you think it's good? Because it's hard to come off of a Obafemi reign.
In terms of, like, reign work and hype, I do get why people are making comparisons. But I feel like this is a more cinematic title reign is how I'm going to put it. Because you have him more intertwined with story beats instead of reign work, mainly. Like with the Spears crew, he has had to have matches with 2 out of 3 of those members, and it's interesting. And with the promo we're going to talk about a little later tonight with the backstage segment, his reign might also cinematically involve his own family.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just so weird to see or to think of where we go from here. It's very obvious we're getting him versus Spears.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're leading up to that match down the road. I don't know if Spears captures the title and finally gets his first title in WWE. I wouldn't mind it though, because I would like to see a new crop of talent go after the NA title and be involved in the NA title.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I mean, the sentiment's true. Trick carried NXT during the weakest men's division that they've had. And it's right now you need to have a new crop of male talent come in
Yeah.
Take over that mid-card slot so
No.
you can have all the stars
Yeah.
go to your
Not
main
only
card.
not only that, we're gonna have Rumble pseudo call-ups.
Yeah,
we
Trick's probably going to be leaving soon. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if Wes leaves at the end of this year.
Yeah, we have the post-Mania draft as well.
Yeah, so they're going to need a lot of people to like fill those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Because also, like, when it comes to the women's division is stacked, but they're also not utilizing everyone. Zarya is now in the tag team with Sol Ruka, and those two should be in the mix for the NA title, not the tag circuit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my personal
Yeah,
opinion.
the women's division is stacked. It's so stacked that
You have to put people in teams.
yeah, because you have to find a way to give everyone screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of screen time,
Yeah.
Wesley, in the locker room talking some big
Some
game.
shit
Yep.
to Dion, saying it's funny that you thought that you could take on Oba,
Yep.
that you think you're championship material.
And then literally walking in front of the shot is
He's like, speaking of champions or former champions, we got one in our midst.
Trick Willie.
And Trick Williams smacks the fucking taste out of his mouth.
Yep. Literally,
Legitimately.
you hear Wes grabbing coat hangers and stuff. It's like
someone told their mom to shut up. Bitch, the fuck you say?
Yep.
And Wes's buddies are just standing there just looking at Trick like, damn.
Yeah, they're like, this ain't the happy-go-lucky Trick.
Oh, nor should it be.
Nope.
But after that,
We
we get Wesley and Dion in the match. That happens later.
Yep. But right up next, we have Bailey making a guest appearance on tonight's episode of NXT.
Hey, if she shows up on SmackDown this week, that is 6 shows in a row.
Yes.
They're working her hard.
Yeah, it's insane. And she's done 2 matches on those shows.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is definitely leading to a tag match.
Yes, because she is interrupted by Julia, your NXT Women's World Champion, basically saying like, hey, Roxanne might not look up to you anymore, but I look up to you. A lot of people still look up to you. You are still a role model to a lot of people.
And then comes Roxanne and Cora, and they get absolutely braided with boos.
Yep. Yes, a couple people that I follow said like, dang, they are getting like Dom level heat.
Hey, the boos were bellowing down on them like church bells. It was fucking insane.
Yeah.
You could barely hear Roxanne and Cora.
Yeah, Bailey and Julia were egging on the crowd to keep booing.
They were like, "What? I can't understand it because they keep booing you." And
Yeah.
Boo!
Yeah. Yeah, and then eventually, like, the promos get cut, a brawl ensues, and it's not made official whether it's a tag match or not, but everyone's speculating, oh no, it's a tag
And
match.
then we cut to the back in the middle of this brawl to the women's locker room
Mm-hmm.
where Jada comes up and talks to Kalani,
Yep.
saying that this attitude, just because you have it, doesn't make you bad.
Yeah.
And then Carmen Petrovich comes out of nowhere, gets in Jada's face, and then they start brawling.
Yep.
And then it cuts back to the ringside area where the 4 women are still brawling. So we just got brawls going on everywhere
Yeah.
today.
Yep. Jada was hyping herself up because Bailey mentioned her by name.
Mm-hmm.
Kalani's trying to find her place after losing opportunity after opportunity. And Carmen's just happy she got a man.
Yeah, so we get later on in the night Carmen Petrovich versus Jada Parker.
Yep.
A lot of these segments were leading up to, okay, this happens, and now we have this match tonight. I think there were 6 matches tonight?
There were a lot of matches. I was like, this is a match-filled show.
It was a filled show. Not
Yeah.
a single second was wasted.
No, but speaking of matches, one of those promo offs, we have Dion versus Wes. Wes picks up the win.
Hey, Wes comes out with the 4 fingers still just imprinted on his face, and I don't know if that was just makeup work or if that was actual. But hey, fam, that shit was insane.
Some wrestlers, even for promos, say, "Hey, legitimately smack the crap out of me." I don't know if Wes is one of those people, but if he is, dadgum.
But yeah, him and Dion actually have a good match.
Yep.
Dion showing a lot of upside now. He had this big power-up spot where he just started tossing Wes around.
Yep. But Wes still picks up the win, grabs the mic, and is like, "Hey, yo, Trick, I want my receipt."
Yeah, so these two are facing off not next week. February 15th at Vengeance Day.
Yeah. But Trick comes out after Wes.
Oh, wait, no. Is it next week in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's next week in Atlanta.
Next week in Atlanta, not Vengeance Day. Sorry.
No, yeah. But yeah, Trick comes out to cash that in. Wes's lackeys try to intercept.
Mm-hmm.
Trick knocks them out with one swift punch.
Yeah.
Gets in the ring with Wes. Not one smack, not two smacks, but 3 smacks. He's like, "You wanted a receipt? Here it is."
Yeah, and this is not the last we'll see of Trick Williams tonight.
No. But yeah, then we have a little package that's basically for the Up Next Heritage Cup match. Charlie makes his entrance. We cut to commercial. Then we cut to a promo with an interview with Stephanie Vaquer. She's basically saying it doesn't matter who wins that women's NA match. The winner's gonna go through hell with me.
I don't know if they have Shotzi win and be a transitional champ, or if they just have Fallon win and lose it to Stephanie, because I think the next move is Stephanie gets it.
Yeah, no. Yes. You can see it in the eyes both last week and this week. Stephanie pissed.
Hey, I would be too. You're telling me I fought 3 other people, went through hell fighting 3 other people, and just because this woman pinned another woman in a tag team match, not even for the fucking title, just a tag match.
Yeah.
She's #1 contender.
She did pin the champion, but yeah. And then it's changed to winner of the Fatal 4-Way versus person who pinned the champion for actual #1 contender.
Which was a stupid idea.
Yeah. And Steph gets cheated out by the champ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for this filler to end.
Yep.
It's happening next week. And then we get Stephanie versus whoever at Vengeance Day.
Yep. And next up we have the match that we cut from the entrances, the Heritage Cup match.
Lexis King, your Heritage Cup champion, versus Charlie Dempsey.
Yep.
With the No Quarter Catch crew by his side.
Yep. Lexis comes out with the little, basically, rest station bucket with a towel and some water. But in that bucket is some brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles.
Yeah.
Like Charlie's daddy used to do.
Yep. We see him go for them a couple times, but deciding, nah, I'm trying to be a good guy. I'm trying to be a fair fighter. I'm trying to be a baby face.
All that noise with a low blow to Charlie Dempsey to win. But, so first, we get a picture-in-picture win with Lexis taking the first fall.
Mm-hmm.
Off of I believe it was a sunset flip that he just sat down on Charlie instead of rolling through. He sat down, got the pin that way. Butterfly suplex Charlie to Lexis gives Charlie the second win. And then we go to sudden death, which is basically round 3. Next person wins. Or technically not sudden death, but...
Yeah, so Heritage Cup matches are 5 rounds. 3 minutes each.
Yeah, and then if you get 2 wins, like a 2 out of 3 falls match, you win.
Yep.
And Charlie gets tangled up with Lexis in the corner. The ref doesn't see.
Yep.
Low blow to Charlie. Coronation. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And Lexis King stays your NXT Heritage Cup champion. not using the brass knuckles, but still pulling out some heelish tactics.
Yeah.
So is he his father's child?
Don't know. From what some people are saying like could have just been some body flails and another accidental shot, like with the headbutt last week.
Oh, nah. Just go back and watch that footage. It was very deliberate.
Yeah, it's like, because that's the thing. Lexus started off as a heel, but wanted to step out of his father's shadow and was trying to be babyface, but those tendencies, they still there.
Yep. And I don't know if we just move on from this. Charlie technically has gotten his rematch. Twice, basically.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind them moving on. I'm so confused with the Heritage Cup Championship because it seems like it was fit around two people because Norm Dar had it and then Charlie Dempsey had it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically become their whole character.
Yeah.
At least Charlie's was Heritage Cup champion. So I don't know if they're going to keep. I mean, they're going to keep the cup around, obviously, but I don't know if they're going to have major plans with it. Because, let's just. Even in terms of the games, the wrestling games that come out, it's not in the games.
Yeah, no. Even the match type ain't in there.
Yeah, so it's very much like it feels like an afterthought for the company, and it's just there because they don't want to get rid of it when they got rid of everything else NXT UK related.
Yeah.
This is very weird.
Looking back at some of the rivalries that have been taking place, is it's used to be sort of a build-up storyline. Like Javon had a hunting the Heritage Cup arc.
Mm-hmm.
How Oba and Tony's rivalry first started was Oba came out wanting to unify the NA with the Heritage Cup, but Tony was like, nah, and then the family got it.
I fucking forgot Tony had it. Didn't he at some point?
He might have.
I think Tony had the Heritage Cup at one point. I could be wrong. I legitimately could be wrong.
But the family had some tag beef with the rest of No Quarter as well.
Mm-hmm. At least I think he fought for it. He might not have had it. But.
Yeah. They're using it as a way for Lexis King to have this character development. It's very much we need this start to get some build and a push. Throw them in this rivalry.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. I don't know. I just rather see it with an actual belt. But no, that's just me being nitpicky.
Yeah, it being a trophy kind of makes sense as it's still fought under British rules.
Mm-hmm. It's just weird because they got rid of everything with NXT UK.
Yeah, they unified everything except that.
They even got rid of the NXT UK branding on it. It just says NXT now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that was that match. It was a pretty solid match.
Yeah. Then we have a little promo package with Naomi and Bianca.
Yep. Basically praising Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, saying, look, you, the bougie baddie, brings the muscle, and the Jakara Jackson brings all the skill. And I feel like that's the wrong way of putting it, but I think that's how the promo went. But teasing their match for next week in Atlanta for the NXT, or not for the NXT, for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles.
Yep. It's across all three brands.
Yeah, honestly, I would not mind it going back to NXT for a bit.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, especially because of some social media activity with Jade Cargill, that it's probably going to be revealed that Naomi was the attacker and Jade's going to cost them the title.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we get a promo package later. I guess we'll just skip to that part now. With the Meta Girls in the backstage area, or in the locker room area, with all the other NXT women's tag teams, saying, look, and Sol Ruka and Zarya come up to them and they're like, look, you have to bring it back to NXT. Because we have the best women's division, and it'd be nice to have another title in here.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? They're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we got it. And then they're like, bring it in, girls. And I just started laughing because fucking all I see, because I'm playing the game and watching, and all I see out the corner of my eyes just Lash of Legend and go, woo! What the fuck is going on?
It's like
She said, bring it in, girls.
yeah, it's like to be fair, yeah, like we do have tag teams on the main roster, but as we mentioned earlier, NXT is stacked, especially the women's division. Having the titles on the show with the most representation for that division
Wouldn't make the most sense.
would make the most sense, yeah.
But yeah, we just have to wait till Tuesday. I am very confident that the Metal Girls are taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the perfect time because now is when you have to start setting up rivalries for WrestleMania.
Yep.
And they definitely want to get at Jay Cargill versus Bianca.
Yes.
They want to build to that.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. But after the Bianca Naomi promo package, we have Carmen versus Jada Parker.
Pretty short, decent match.
Yep.
Carmen picks up the win by a roll-up, which was very surprising.
Yep, because Kalani Jordan distracts Jada a little bit with the beef they have.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't put her hands on her, doesn't do anything.
Nope.
She goes to smack her.
Yep.
But then Carmen rolls her up, 1, 2, 3, out the ring, and then you just have Jada in the ring saying, "What's your problem? What's your problem?"
And Kalani's like,
You! What the fuck you think I'm out here for?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to slap Carmen, I'm trying to slap you!
Yeah. And it's like Carmen has been out of ring action for a little bit and it's getting back in. As someone who did like study karate as their like base style when I was studying martial arts majorly, I like that fighting style.
She like legitimately has a fighting background.
Yes.
She went to Bloodsport for GCW, had a match there. I think she won her match. But yeah, Bloodsport's basically a wrestling equivalent of MMA.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, GCW holds it every year. It's ran by Josh Bartel, a UFC fighter, former UFC fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was at Bloodsport. She also has appeared on TNA over the course of that partnership. So she's one of my favorites. I was glad to see her back in the NXT ring. Yeah. Picking up a one I thought definitely coming into this, Jada was winning.
Yeah, no. Because Jada's been getting the bigger screen time, and it's like, oh, this is just a filler arc, but like, no. Carmen got the pin.
Yep, and then I just think this sets up Kalani and Jada. Yeah, I don't think any blowback is going to happen on Carmen story-wise.
No. Next up, we had a tag match between the D'Angelo family versus
Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance. Nico Vance making his debut in the WWE ring, and that's a big boy that can move.
Yup.
That's a big boy that can move. He did very well, in my opinion, for his first match.
He
understood the in-ring psychology of a tag match.
Yeah.
Like, this is when I go out, this is when I rest, I come back in.
Yep.
Hit the fuck
he
out of
even did this thing on ringside where he basically did this thing of like, it looked like a spear, but just his shoulder made contact. Like, he didn't even wrap the arms around. And I'm like...
he just like shoulder checked him.
Yeah. But his feet fully left the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, the future's bright for Nico Vance unless something bad happens.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect spot for him. Put him in that tag with Brooks because Brooks has had a tag run before. He knows how the tag circuit works.
He's also very famous for hardcore style.
Yeah.
So,
hey, if you get these two men that are in there that can just go at it, fuck yeah. I'd love to see that team.
Yep.
I personally really want to see them versus Fraxium at this point because I would love to see Nico Vance throw around one of the members.
Yep.
That shit would be fun.
Yep. They may be speedy, but they ain't that heavy.
You can't run away from a grab, motherfucker. Nope. Like in Smash Bros, you cannot parry a grab.
Nope.
What?
Yeah, speaking of Fraxium,
they appear.
Yep.
In the backstage segment.
Yep. have basically
Hyping up their match on TNA Thursday.
Yep, but their interview gets interrupted by Josh Briggs and his partner with a name I'm not going to try to remember how to pronounce because it is heavily Japanese.
He is from Noah.
Yep.
But yeah, so they start talking, and Frack seems like, look, yes, we get it. You want a shot, but you honestly haven't done anything to earn that shot. So while you say you want a match, you haven't done anything to earn it.
Yeah.
And then we get OTM. Josh Briggs and his partner in OTM start brawling.
OTM cashing in a receipt from the brawl they had last week.
And Fraxium, once again, looking like the luckiest team in the world, just stepping away.
Yep.
Just,
pulling a little Homer Simpson.
Yep, just into the bush.
Yep. But we continue with the backstage segments with Dion throwing some equipment around, being pissed.
Saying, fuck this place!
Yep.
Which I've definitely done at my job.
I'm pretty sure we all have.
Yeah.
Some of the F's more audible than others.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he walks through, and then we get, I think it was Izzy and Tony talking?
Yeah, Izzy and Tony talking. Izzy going on a huge tangent with Tony just basically saying thank you for the help. Hopefully this makes us even, but if we have more beef with Sean, we'll let you know.
Mm-hmm. And then
the rest,
we get the D'Angelo family coming up, and Stax is like,
where were you?
Yeah, where were you?
Yeah.
And Tony's like, look, you were the underboss for about 2 years now. If you can't figure it out, I don't know.
Yeah, which is, as I mentioned earlier, planting possibly a little dissension story arc, possibly a little mutiny.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, moving on from that.
Yep. We have an Ethan Page.
Ethan Page promo, basically saying, I never thought I'd like the sound of human bones breaking. You're stealing Pete Dunne's gimmick. Gimmick infringement, police. Get on it. That's Pete Dunne's gimmick, the joint collector.
But I feel that's the thing. I have never been not satisfied with any promo package Ethan Page has done. I'm like, get this man on the main roster.
Yeah, man, he is definitely skyrocketing as soon as he gets a call up.
Yeah.
I want to see him in the U.S. title picture. Mainly because I think the U.S. title picture needs more players in it than the IC.
Yeah. But then we cut to Ava's office with
Javon.
Yep. Jaw still wired shut. He is still mumbling, can barely understand him phonetically, but Ava's basically saying, like, listen, I get you want to punch Ethan in the face. You're not alone in that.
And your face isn't even cleared yet, so you can't.
Yep.
But Cedric is cleared now.
Yep.
Cedric Alexander comes in, and he will be facing Ethan Page next week, which will probably lead to another broken bone spot.
Yep.
Don't know if I like this bone collector gimmick for Ethan. I just like the all ego stuff. But hey, I'm willing to see where it goes because it's going places now.
Yeah. I feel like it started with the whole like I'm smiley, I took someone's smile, that gave me some weird satisfaction, then I broke someone's leg and I'm like, oh, that's the thing I like.
Mm-hmm.
Bones being where they don't belong.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that match is set for next week in Atlanta.
Yep, and then we go on to our main event.
Obafemi
versus Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah. Extended squash.
Yep. Yeah. Eddie got some offense in enough to build up some finisher bars and game mechanics, but...
Oh, wait, before we start discussing more of this match...
Oh, yes.
8-Town Down Under made their appearance because, of course, next week's NXT is taking place in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
One half of the team is from Atlanta, Austin Theory, so they said
won.
Whoever wins will get a little rub on the Grayson Waller effect.
Yeah.
Back to the match.
Yep.
Obafemi destroys Eddie Thorpe, and I cannot wait to see Obafemi put Grayson Waller through a fucking ring.
Yep.
Because Grayson took his shirt off and he started flexing and yelling at Oba. That's not a good idea.
No.
And then Trick comes back.
Yep.
Before the match, we see Oba coming to the ring. He passes Trick. Trick eyeballs him and then the title. And just stays there while Oba keeps walking.
Yep. Oba is celebrating with the title, turns around, comes face to face with Trick.
And he said,
both smile a little bit.
He said, if you want to do this again, we can do this again. Eddie Thorpe gets up, trick shot knee, continuing to make Eddie look like a bitch.
Back to the stare down. And credits roll.
Yeah, this was an amazing episode of NXT.
I would say poor Eddie, but I don't give a frick.
Nah, as I say in games when things aren't going my way, they're hoeing me. They're hoeing Eddie Thorpe. But no one cares, unfortunately.
Like I remember back when he first got announced for being in the Deadline contention.
I thought he was released.
Yeah, because he was off TV for so long.
Yeah, the last match he had, I believe, was against Dijak. And Dijak got released, and I was like, I don't see why they'd keep Eddie Thorpe around and not Dijak. But Dijak is older, Eddie Thorpe is younger, so that is why. But hey, if they want to continue to use Eddie, I just hope they give him some wins.
Yeah.
It would suck to see another Kurt Hawkins situation where he had 236 losses in a row, I think it was. But hey, I don't mind Eddie's, just they keep... And it's the same thing with Drew. I think right now they're doing some great character work. Drew, the best character work of his career.
Yes, no.
Eddie Thorpe, so far, doing some of the best of his career, but they keep losing. Yeah. Not saying I wanted Eddie to beat Oba. Fuck no.
Drew at least still puts on a show. He still gets a couple wins in between, like against Sammy, like winning it one match in the trilogy against Punk. He did technically win the title.
Mm-hmm.
And he got that title shot by winning Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to win a qualifying match to get there. He was the first one to pin Cody Rhodes since WrestleMania 39.
Yeah, and I think they have the perfect time for Eddie, just like Ridge, slide down to that mid-card, and do something else with them, just for right now.
Yep.
Because Oba, after Trick, is going to need a big name opponent.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to have to be a big one.
Randy.
No. I don't see Randy ever coming back down.
No, Oba coming up for Cena.
Hey, we might be getting Cena Hendry before Cena Oba. And I would not mind either of them.
No, yeah.
But that is it from us at Disqualified. This has been Caleb, Trevor, Zach behind that camera as always. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for your time. Peace.
Bye.